Welcome to the Power in Motion podcast, the show for women who want to develop a kinder relationship with their body so you can feel healthy, happy, and confident without restricting food, doing torturous exercise, or constantly worrying about the number on the scale. I'm your host, Kim Hagel, size-inclusive fitness specialist and certified non-diet health and life coach specializing in body image. This podcast is here to provide weight-neutral, health at every size aligned information and coaching on sustainable habits and mindset shifts so you can feel your very best in the body you have right now. Let's lace up our runners and go for a walk while we chat. Well, hey friends, and welcome to the Joyful Movement Show. This is episode 83, and I'm your host, Kim Hagel, certified personal trainer, registered holistic nutritionist, and body image coach. And while we're on a bit of a podcasting break over the summer, I did want to pop in here with a really special interview today. One of my face-to-face personal training clients was so willing to share her story with all of you, and I'm so excited for you to meet Shauna Clark. Shauna is a mom of 4 and a kindergarten teacher. She's also a published author. She wrote a chapter in a collaborative book called Momming Hard, and you can buy that anywhere that books are sold. And it's a really great book with a compilation of stories from lots of moms just sharing the realities of motherhood. So I've known Shauna for quite a number of years. I originally taught her Learn to Run when I used to work at the YMCA. And actually, I didn't fully appreciate at the time how much her learning to run impacted her life. She actually spoke about that in her chapter of the book and how taking part in that class gave her back a piece of herself that she didn't realize was lost when she became a mother until she gave that back to herself. So running's been a big part of her life ever since that time. She realized that running was so important for her mental health and for her to have some me time being a mom of 4. So she's carried on with her running, but what precipitated her reaching out to work together in a personal training one-on-one capacity was that she was feeling like her runs were taking a lot out of her. Like she wasn't able to get through them without feeling gassed, and she was not making any progress in her speed and her distance. And it just felt like it should be easier after running for that length of time. So she knew that getting stronger would likely help her running, but she had no idea how to navigate the gym environment. She was not familiar with any of the gym equipment, did not know how to use them, and had a lot of fear about using things wrong and hurting herself or just looking silly. I think we all can relate to that, going into a gym environment where everyone seems to know what they're doing and then you not knowing what you're doing. It's pretty intimidating. And she'll talk in the interview about how she went back and forth in her mind for quite some time about making the investment in herself to do personal training and how she finally found the courage to make that investment for herself and what she's gained, what she's learned, what has changed in her life in just the short time that we've been working together. So I hope that you enjoy this interview with Shauna. She is so fun to chat with. She's witty and she's funny, and she's just got such a cool perspective on things. So without any further ado, let's jump in and hear from Shauna. Well, hello, Shauna. Welcome to the Joyful Movement Show. I'm so glad you're here today.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. And I'm really looking forward to this conversation where you're going to share your experience working together in a personal training capacity. I know we're going to have lots to talk about, but why don't we just get things started when you can tell us a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Shauna Clark. I am a 30-something mom to 4 littles who are 7 and under. When I'm working, I'm a kindergarten teacher at a small rural school. And I'm married to a husband that owns a contracting business. So it's a busy life right now. We do a lot of stuff as a family. We really enjoy living on the water. We recently got into a hobby farm, which I don't know how I feel about that yet, but my children really like it. My husband seems to like it. So yeah, I'm on mat leave right now. So life is different than when I'm working full time, but it's still busy.
Yeah, lots of balls in the air, right?
It, it is. I actually
Yeah.
look back and I'm like, how was I working full time with 3 even? Because it's amazing how full my days are even now. So
Mhm. Yeah, just time is kind of funny that way, right? It's kind of like a vortex. It doesn't seem to matter what we're busy with, the time just fills up.
yeah.
Mhm.
And the busy, I guess, is different in the
Yeah.
terms of like productivity.
Yeah.
I feel, and that's how I've measured myself for so long.
Ah,
But I like this busy. I do like it, and it's different from a first baby to a fourth baby. And yeah, I'm enjoying this mat leave a lot more than the other ones.
that's good. That's good. I don't know about you, but I found like by the time I had my fourth child, maybe everybody just needs to have four children because by the time you get to the fourth, you're kind of just like, whatever, it'll be what it'll be, right?
Exactly. And I look at what my oldest had in terms of our one-on-one time. She gets, like our fourth gets in having a seasoned mom
Mhm.
that like I'm not so hard on things and it is. It's whatever will be, will be. We'll get there. It'll happen. Yeah, it is. I agree. Everyone, like 4 babies, everyone should have that because it's really nice for your confidence.
Right. Yeah, yeah, I think this is not what we're here to talk about today, but one thing that I often say is, I realize like people think that by the time you have 4 kids, you should know everything about motherhood. And I'm like, no, I just realized how very little I do know, but it doesn't matter anymore.
Exactly. I don't have the time to worry about it, really. Yeah.
All right, so you and I have known each other for a really long time, and that's probably why we're getting off on tangents here and having such a great conversation. But we've worked together in a group fitness capacity in the past, but just recently started working together in the personal training capacity. So, can you tell us a little bit about where you were at, what was going on in your life, what maybe you were struggling with that got you thinking that you might like to work with a personal trainer?
So I would say that I have been ruminating with wanting a personal trainer for probably a very long time. But the reasoning behind it, I think,
Mm.
was the biggest change. So last June, after I had my fourth, there was a real just mindset shift in general. And I don't know if it's because I had a girl or if just where I was in my space, but the way I viewed myself really changed.
Mm.
And then in September, I had a health scare that it really scared me actually. So I got back into moving my body again, basically because I was just trying to ward off this illness that I had. And so I was running a lot and I really enjoyed running. And there were fitness classes available, but because of COVID, childcare spaces were really limited. And basically there was only 6 spaces and I never seemed to be able to get into any of those spaces. And so I was running and running and I felt great doing that, but I wanted something more. I knew I wasn't as strong in my core after having the kids. And I just thought maybe this is the time that I should hook up with Kim because I had been seeing what you posted. I loved what you're putting out there. And I knew that you wouldn't I wasn't afraid. I think that's probably the biggest thing, Kim, is I knew you wouldn't make me feel bad in any capacity. So, it was a bit of a struggle with me being on maternity leave to decide to make that investment for myself. Um, but I'm so glad I did. Like, I went back and forth and I had some guilt about it, right? Like, we'll
Mm.
spend so much money on our kids, but when it comes to that, but then with the health scare combined with it, I thought, no, I am doing this. And that's how we got where we are.
Yeah. So you mentioned you were a little bit afraid, and that's why you decided to work with me. What were you afraid of?
So, like I said, I could have gone to like a fitness class, but if I wanted to go use free weights or machines,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have a clue. And I was terrified of that. I really, I thought, oh, Kim could just teach me some foundational skills for how to use those things. And then maybe I wouldn't be so afraid. And so I can remember when I was afraid to go to a gym just because of my appearance. And this
Mm,
time it was different. I was afraid to go to a gym because I didn't actually know how to use the things, and I didn't wanna get hurt, and I didn't wanna look foolish, and so that is why I was like, "No, I'm definitely doing this."
yeah. Yeah. So it was more of a lack of knowledge and afraid that you would not know what to do or that you might do something wrong and potentially hurt yourself.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. And I know you said, like, in the past, you were afraid of going to a gym because of how you looked, and then you also said in the introduction there that your thoughts about yourself changed significantly after you had your daughter, and can you share a little bit more about that? Like, what did that used to look like, and what shifted for you?
So, I gain a lot of weight when I'm pregnant, just like, naturally, because I have had very different pregnancies in terms of what I eat and do. And I always wanted to lose the weight solely for my appearance. That was like the 100% the motivator. And then I'd get pregnant again. And after Charlotte, I just thought, I don't want you to ever not think that you're not perfect the way you are. And I
Mhm,
feel that same way for my boys, or
mhm,
I
mhm,
do, but I just feel like girls in particular, we have it really hard. And she is perfection. And however she was made is perfect to me. And I never want her to think that she's not perfect. And I don't ever want her to do those things to punish herself for how she looks, and instead celebrate that like she can do these things. So after her, I was like, Shauna, your body created and grew 4 children.
mhm.
And like, it's amazing that it did this, because I just think to how, like, I could barely walk up to having her, and then your body just, it really is amazing what all bodies, but really a female body can do, and to nourish, like, that kid in the 4th trimester, and yeah, it was a bunch of things came into place. It
Mhm.
fell into place for me, that it wasn't about punishment, and it wasn't about, caring what anyone else thinks. And I actually remember this so vividly. At the hospital, my midwife was helping me into my diaper that you wear as
Yeah.
a baby, and I'd had 3 babies with her, and I said, "Rebecca, this time, I don't care what I look like anymore after, because I just don't." Like,
Yeah.
and she was like, "You shouldn't have the whole time." Like, for her, like, she was, but for me, it was such a light bulb moment
Mhm, mhm.
that, and I shouldn't say that I don't care, but that my perception of myself is more important than anyone else's perception of me.
Yes. Oh, those are such powerful words. And I think it's having children, whether it's daughters or sons or any gender, it's sometimes in seeing the world we want for them and the reality that we want for them that makes it us turn the mirror on ourselves and go, why am I treating myself in a way, or why am I worrying about my body in a way that I would never want my child to? And then if we can be wise enough to go, I need to do the work for myself to change my body image and my relationship with food and exercise and my body so that I can be that example for my child. That's beautiful.
And, and I will say, I don't think I ever said mean things about myself in front of my older children either, but, and I don't have a mom that grew up saying mean things about herself either, that I
Mhm,
recall, but
mhm.
I just feel like we're bombarded
Oh, yeah, it's
at
everywhere.
the age, and I just hope that they know that
Mhm.
they are perfect the way they were made.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, beautiful. And you're being such a good example. And knowing that for yourself or learning to know that for yourself is
And it's a process.
yeah, it is. It is. But
Process.
but like you say, there was a light bulb moment. Like, yes, it's a process of unlearning and like relearning, but in a moment, your whole perception changed, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we started working out together. Your main goal was that you wanted to learn how to use fitness equipment to get stronger. What other goals did you have for yourself when we started out?
There were some goals that I maybe didn't know were goals and come up, but I just think back to how many times people were like, engage your core. And I'm like, what does that feel like? What does that look like? So to even the proper form for things that I had been doing on my own and for stretching, things like that. But when I originally started, the running was a really big piece for me. Is
Mhm.
that I didn't want to feel gassed by
Mm,
the end of a run. And I wanted more of those runs where you just felt like you could keep going. And I felt like I wasn't strong anywhere. So I
mm,
wanted to get stronger. And that was like my main goal when we first started out together.
mhm. Yeah. And so what kind of support were you looking for from me to get closer to having those goals met?
So I think that there's a couple pieces because there's like the actual physical piece where you need someone to correct you in those moments and push you, but like not past your limit. But
Mhm,
the relationship for me was also really important. And you really know the space that I was coming from. And so, like, I don't feel bad if I'm like, Kim, one of the kids was sick. So the understanding was a very big piece for me as much as the making of a program. Like
mhm.
I have still no idea how many reps I do when I do things, right? Like you keep track of all that stuff for me. I haven't put that in yet because I just am still sometimes just so excited and happy for myself that I'm doing it.
Mm.
Like those kettlebell raises today. Do you
Right,
understand
yeah,
how awkward that was the first day? And now I can do it.
yeah.
I can't keep track of it yet, though, for the counting either.
Yeah, so it's a process, right? Like first you learn the mechanics, first you learn all the bits and pieces that make up a movement and you build the muscle memory because like you said that's where you're at now. You know
Yeah,
how to do it. You don't have to think about the movement itself, you just do it. And you probably don't count reps because you don't have to because I'm here, right? But it's
but
not that you don't have the ability. You could if I wasn't around.
I could take my cell phone into a gym, right? Like I could have done that. I could have taken my cell phone into a gym and tried to copy the video best I could.
Mhm,
But there's still so many minor things you'll do. Like today, Shauna, relax your neck.
mhm.
Like I didn't even know my neck was tense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no, I yeah, what I was looking for you to help me keep me accountable. I love that I leave the house. That was
Mhm.
another thing. Um, and I don't know if that's because after COVID, I was home so much that
Right.
I, but I love that I'm up and out of the house and see you and I'm in a different building.
Mhm.
Still really enjoy that. So the accountability piece, and then the lack of having to think or plan is really, it was very worthwhile for me.
Right. Right. So I get to do all of the thinking for you and you can just enjoy as much as you can enjoy a workout when you're in the
Yeah.
middle of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would you say you have been progressing towards those goals? So I heard you say you wanted your runs to be more efficient, I guess is the word, like where you could, get through it without feeling so gassed and you wanted to feel stronger all over, but particularly around your core. So how are you feel oh, and to have some familiarity with equipment.
Yeah.
So how would you say you're progressing towards all those things?
So I'm going to break this up into pieces.
Mhm.
Originally, I thought, oh, I'd only need to be with Kim for like a month to learn like form and how to use the equipment. I now think like definitely 3 months minimum, uh,
Mm,
because it's more than just picking it up and well, for me it is. It's more than just picking it up and doing it. I still need those little correctors.
yeah.
But today, and, like, what a bizarre one because I never would think that this is, like, a way that I gauge how my strength is going. I went and dropped off garbage in our dumpster at the farm and noticed with how much ease it was to have one arm holding the lid open and tossing the garbage in with my one arm. Like, not an everyday activity
Yes.
that has become so much easier that I never have clued into, like, how much of a struggle it would be some days to try to get that garbage bag in
Yeah.
there while having my hand up on it. Like, so that just is a small thing.
Yeah.
I definitely feel it in my core. Uh, in our exercises,
Mhm.
I can just feel
Mhm.
how much more stability I have in my core in general. And carrying the kids and like groceries and things like that, I do notice like I am definitely getting stronger.
Yeah. I noticed it too. Your core strength, especially, I think I commented on that today, like just your ability to engage all of the muscles in your trunk area. It's like it's automatic now. Where before, like you said, when we first started, you were like, what does it mean to engage your core? Like we had to break that right down to bare bones. Like, here's where your muscles are, here's what they feel like put your fingers there, touch them.
Yeah.
And here's how you
I
engage.
wonder how many other people though are wandering around not really knowing what it means to engage your core.
Oh, likely a lot. Right.
Maybe I'm the only one, which would be really embarrassing.
No, I really don't think so. I really don't think so. Right. But those are such great wins because what you're talking about is functional fitness and real life goals, right? Like being able to carry a bag of groceries while you got a child on your hip. They're like what we're doing in the gym is translating over into real life, right? Being able to
100.
hold the garbage bin up and throw something in. That's because your whole body is stronger and knows how to work together. So those are great wins.
And in a very like relatively short amount of time, I feel too.
Yeah, we've
Uh,
been what about 2 months?
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm really shocked by it because I thought it was going to take longer. And then today, when I did my push up, like I got up one time, like I was not getting up at times, and my arms were tired at that point.
Yes. Yes, they were. Yeah, and the form was impeccable, right? So it's not even that you got up the one time, you got up with perfect form.
Yeah.
And then when we were doing what we call negative push-ups, which is what just when you do the down part of the movement and you don't worry about the push-up, but those were brilliantly executed. So, you
And
know,
they're easier.
yeah.
Than like I used to take rests in between.
Yeah. And
So
not that there's anything wrong with rest at all, but it's just it just shows the progress.
measure
Yeah.
of progress. Yeah.
Now, and I know that you said like being able to know how to use equipment was a big goal. So how confident do you think, and I know you also said you want to spend at least another month together, but how confident do you think you'll feel carrying on in the future without having me tell you what to do?
I I'm excited. I think I'll be more aware of my form and things like that because I'll be a little bit nervous with other people around. So I think I'll try to have Kim in the back of my head. But even already, I would go in and pick up a free weight right now, and I would have never done that
Mhm.
2 months ago.
Right.
Never. In fact, I never did. So talk about progress. There's one. I'm going to be 36 in a couple of days, and I have never had the confidence to do that in my life.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks.
Yeah. So that means you know where your muscles are now and what exercises work what muscles.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
big.
Because like I see things even on TV.
Mhm.
I now it happened today. I saw something somewhere of a person doing an exercise. I was like, I know what that feels like. Which may seem like a really silly thing, but fitness was never a part of my life,
Mhm.
really until I think you taught me the Learn to Run program.
Oh, really?
That was really the first time I've never not an athlete,
Uh-huh.
and I've never been in that fitness world,
Mhm.
and so, yeah,
Yeah. So it makes sense. Like this it's like a whole other language, right?
it is.
If anatomy and physiology and fitness aren't your forte, then yeah, you have to learn all of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always think it's interesting, like, what happens in the gym is never just exercise, right? It's never just do the movements, go home. There's always lots of other things that go on, lots of other awarenesses and lots of other learnings. So, what would you say have been some key learnings for you during our time together, or what's your biggest win?
Oh, man. There's so many things that happen in, like, my day to day, but I'm by myself, so I don't have someone to share it with, that I notice or has happened. I think my biggest win though is probably my confidence.
Mm,
And I'm not talking about like confidence in any like particular thing or movement or anything like that, just all around a confidence. I think because I went and did the scary thing.
mm,
Scary thing was to go to the personal trainer, learn how to use those things, the equipment, and I'm doing it. And I've been sharing with, like, pockets of people that I've gone and they're like, "I've wanted to do that," or "I've wanted to do that," and that I put myself first.
Mm,
Um, because like really my movement for my body when it's just by myself is my me time, but it's also just as much for my mental health
yeah.
and to be able to deal with the demands of home. My patience is better. But yeah, I think it's just a confidence. And I can't say it's for one thing. It's like an all around confidence that I'm learning something new. Um, in a way that I really enjoy it too. And it's not like a thrust upon you type of thing that you have to learn, like in PD, like at school. It is something I wanted to learn and I am learning and I'm proud of it.
I love how you brought up confidence, and confidence that's not found in something external, right? Like often we think confidence is found in looking a certain way or being able to do something that we've got innate skills in or something, or like, you know what I mean? Like we're really good at our job and like we're better than somebody else. So that gives us a sense of confidence, or we think that confidence, I guess, is found in being better than others.
Yeah.
And I love how you're connecting to the true sense of confidence in like confidence is found within you in being able to have your back, right? To support yourself and meet your own needs and meet yourself where you're at and rise to the challenges and feel that sense of success and accomplishment just in yourself, not because someone external gives that to you.
Yeah. No, and it yeah. And I'm just now like processing that as well about like what a gift,
Mhm.
really. Um, because that it is really nice to not well, you can't always have it be from other people because it's not always going to come, right? You've
Yeah, exactly.
got to have it within yourself. And
Yeah.
to do anxiety has been kind of a constant in my life. And so to do those scary things too, it feels really good um when you do it. And it's worked out so well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
People say like do it scared is like kind of that cliche phrase that people say, right? And I don't really like that. I don't.
and I'm not usually a do it scared. I'm usually a don't do it at all ever.
Right. Well, and that's yeah, and that we tend to be very black or white, all or nothing that way, right? Is like shy away from it or like use willpower and like force yourself to do the scary thing. Where I think rather if we can first of all decide if we want to do the scary thing, but then build ourselves up and make it safe for us to do it, right? And that's what you did. You figured out a way to make getting stronger and achieving your strength goals safe and accessible. And you've done it, and therefore you now have this sense of confidence that you overcame this scary thing.
Yeah.
Well, those are, I was going to ask you next, what are you celebrating? But that sounds like a pretty big win right there that you're celebrating. Is there anything else?
Um I think I think that's like the biggest celebration. I was thinking about it this morning because like I was getting there just as Nick was leaving. And I was also coming with such a grateful heart that I have a really good support system. But also when we talk about doing the scary thing and finding a safe place, you were a major part of that.
Hmm.
Um, because I just I knew you were never gonna shame me. I knew you weren't gonna put me, in an uncomfortable situation, like, there was a trust already there that had been started with you, but I don't know that you know how profound of an effect you've had on me as since I became a mom in that running club. You have shared so many snippets with me that have changed my life, um, in a really profound way, like waking up early, just little things like that that have been so amazing for my mental health that I feel like other people need to hear or know or be aware of because it's changed me so much as a mother and a human too. And so I knew you were a safe spot to do that. And I can't say that I would have been uh as easily able to go anywhere else if not for you.
Hmm. Well, thank you. I'm covered in goosebumps and I feel like I could tear up. Those are some pretty kind and humbling words. Thank you.
No, for
Mm,
very, very much. You
mm,
since 2016 was the Learn to Run, and you shared so many things there, and
mm,
it's been really amazing too to see you grow and change because you're such an influence for me.
mm. Yeah, a lot has changed in my life since 2016 as well. And it's funny how, you know, I have no recollection of what I might have said back then, but clearly it had an impact, right? Like, you never know the power of your words and actions, right? And how things are received.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mm.
So what's next for you, Shauna?
A real true push up. that is that is like now like the main thing I want to be able to do that I really want to get to.
Be careful
Um,
what you wish for.
yeah, I may not like it in the moment. Uh, that's definitely something. And I think now too is that I'm sitting in a spot where I really do love myself and I'm honoring my body. And I also want it to perform in a different way. Or I don't want to say better
Mhm.
because, but that maybe better is the word. But I do want it to perform differently and better just solely for a longer life.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I want to be able to get on the floor with my grandchildren easily, and not even just my grandchildren. I want to be able to do things with my children now. I am
Mm.
a kindergarten teacher. They love nothing more than playing tag and me being the chaser, and I want to be able to chase them for as long as possible because of how much joy it brings them.
Yeah.
These are the little things that I just want to keep getting better at so that the quality of my life and my mobility is better because I've got aging parents and my dad's basically lived with chronic illness since he was 40 and it just puts into such perspective of I don't want to take what I have for granted and I don't
Mhm.
ever then that's why I can't be upset with my body now for all
Mhm.
the body has done for me. Like
Yes.
it
I love how you said that. Like, I don't think I could sum it up any better. Like you're saying, I love my body that I have, and I desire for it to work as well as it can for as long as it can. And that's why I choose to challenge myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I think that's where I'm at right now is that I'm realizing you can have both.
Yeah.
Both those things can exist in the same space.
Yes.
And so that is basically it's exploring what that is going to look like. Now,
Yeah.
do I want to do bigger runs and longer races? I do. That is something that I want to do. And so finding pockets of time to make those types of things happen.
And maybe they don't all happen at once, right? Like maybe it's sitting down and prioritizing which goals are important to me right now.
Yeah. And I do have to sit down and really kind of focus on that that right now
Mhm.
because it's about to get really busy. Starting at 3 o'clock today.
Yeah, exactly. We're recording this on the last day of school. So, yes. Yes, life's about to change. Maybe this is a good time to start marathon training. I don't know. Oh, is there anything else on your heart that you want to share today, Shauna? What a great conversation we've had.
I think just if there's anyone that's kind of on the fence about getting a personal trainer, and particularly you, like Kim is going to meet you where you're at and she's not going to shame you and she's not going to push you out of your comfort level. Like if something hurts or your body makes a weird noise in there, she immediately is like, "Are you okay?" Like she does not want you to hate activity. And when you talk about moving joyfully, I know if you're listening to this and you don't like engage in it right now and you're only moving really for punishment or to change your body, you're thinking there's no way. Like, I smile, I think, pretty much through my entire workout. It doesn't feel like a punishment. It isn't, motivation behind it if you're doing that work with Kim, because it's out of love and not out of hate. Like, just do it.
Yeah.
And, she's yeah, just do it.
Oh, you're really singing my praises here. I'm so flattered. And it honestly, it makes me sad to think that other trainers wouldn't respond the same way. Like I can't imagine ever shaming someone or forcing someone to do something that hurt. And it kind of, it's unfortunate that that's the reality of the fitness industry. But yeah, no, that's certainly not my MO. And you brought up joyful movement there, and of course, you're on the Joyful Movement show. So we have to ask the signature question, which is, what does joyful movement mean to you?
I was thinking about this one a lot, and it
Mhm.
really is being doing the things with my kids. Like they are really busy and athletic right now. And it is putting on the swimsuit and jumping in the water with them. It is running along with them while they're biking. It is playing tag and outside playing baseball. Like right now, it really is for me is centered on my young family. And I think that probably will change as they get older, but it's anything that brings us all together that we can all engage in and for an extended period of time. Because if there's anything about kids, they do not want the fun things to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that it really is just moving my body, the kitchen dance parties, like just all the things that I do with my children.
Yeah. And you know what? Not only is that joyful for you, but they are going to remember that. Like,
Oh,
I don't know if you can ever, I certainly can ever say, like, man, my favorite memories were running with my mom and biking with my mom. Like,
yeah,
that didn't happen. Right.
definitely not. Yeah. And because sometimes it's while that activity's happening, it's a lot of what the kids share with me that they don't necessarily share at other times when they don't have when they have other siblings around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It causes a connection and then share more.
It's true. Like we often talk about community and connection as one of the motivating factors for movement, but it's not just with our social group, right? Like connection automatically happens when we're moving our body. So when you're doing that with your kids, yeah, it's going to create a sense of closeness and things are going to be shared and like you may not have had that opportunity otherwise. So how wonderful.
So I'm really hoping to I really want to give them an opportunity so they don't ever feel like I did in their 30s and being like, I have no idea how to do that, or I don't know that, or
Yeah.
that they have experience with it and they decide where,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, and that it's just easy and fun for them to continue moving their body forever, right? It's not like it's just part of life.
that is the hope.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Isle, I've loved this conversation, every little bit about it. Thank you so much for coming on here today and sharing your experience and your words of wisdom. And it is such a joy to work with you. I have honestly loved supporting you and watching you learn and grow and progress in your fitness. And I mean, you're just like one of my favorite people to hang out with. So
It is like hanging out with a friend. And for me, especially because I don't get to talk to a lot of adults. I really look forward to it. You're one of the only people that I know I'm going to see and have a face to face conversation with every week because a lot of it is online for me
yeah,
for
yeah.
with my girlfriends. But no, I really do look forward to it. And I can't believe I thought I'd only need a month.
I mean, you always have that choice, right? But there's lots to learn and it's actually kind of fun. So why not keep hanging out, right?
It's been great. So I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on the show today, Sean. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, friends, I hope that you enjoyed that interview and you felt inspired listening to Shauna's story. I know I felt inspired, and it's something that really never gets old for me as a trainer. It just makes me so happy when I see my clients enjoying moving their body and experiencing real life benefits from movement. Like, when Shauna said it's kind of a small thing, but being able to lift the dumpster lid and throw the garbage in with one hand without struggle, like that's huge. It's not just a small thing. And when we can notice lots of those little small things adding up in our life, it makes a big difference in how we feel and how we function. And that's what it's really all about. There's so much more to movement than aesthetics. And those are the real wins. Those are the things where we can really feel the benefits of the work that we're putting in. So, if you've been inspired by Shauna's story and you feel like personal training is something that could add to your life, I encourage you to reach out. With the beauty of Zoom, I'm able to train people all over the world. So, feel free to reach out through the emails or through the DMs on my social media, and we can set up a time to get on a video call and see if personal training would be a good fit for you. And if you're a professional listening to this and you think that having a non-diet, body neutral personal trainer would benefit your clients, feel free to get in touch as well, because I do offer a affiliate commission program for other Hayes aligned professionals. So from both Shauna and I, thank you for tuning in today. I'll continue to pop in here with the occasional surprise episode throughout the summer. And in the meantime, I'll be replaying some of your favorite episodes. I hope that you are enjoying your summer and you're finding some joyful movement in your days. Until next time, be well, and here's to your radiant vitality. Thanks for tuning into the Power in Motion podcast today. If you love what you're learning here, then I invite you to take the next step of embodying these concepts into your own life so that you can live your healthiest, happiest life and never again feel held back by your body. Coaching is the fastest, most efficient pathway to taking what you know in your head to actually applying it and seeing results. Whether you're looking to make changes around movement, food, body image, or all three, I'm here to help you nurture a kind, respectful, and trusting relationship with your body so you can feel your very best. Click the link in the show notes to book a free consultation, and together we'll uncover what's getting in the way of you having the results you want. You'll leave this call knowing exactly what you need to work on, and together we'll explore whether one of my coaching offers is a good fit for you. I can't wait to meet you.